Huh? That's just
Yeah, yeah. It is I, the man to speak the truth. Anything goes. That's the truth. Listen. Monday at 4, we start this. Speak the truth. Never stop. Hear the facts and hear the steps. Anything goes. That's right. Go or fall. Near y'all. Up or down. Right around. We still speak. Mama facts. Watch that. I say mama told us I'll speak the fact from a young child. Never go lie as a big man. Never gonna lie as a grown man.
10:90.
Never gonna
That
run
countdown
as
in
a
10
grown
minutes.
man. Facts is
Check, check, check. I was just talking to the.
and lie must go all day.
Oh, it's running right now.
So ride with us. This is
This is America.
anything goes. Yeah, anything goes. Health, wealth, music, facts, life, shows, anything goes.
Good evening, blessing, and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want to say
Yeah,
this is Walter
Yeah.
Cronkite. Like, yeah,
It is
if I was in the
I.
'70s, I would mimic his ass. You know what I'm saying? But we're not. We're in 2018, and all kind of fuck shit's been going on, and all kind of people be getting killed, going to jail, getting robbed. You know what I mean? Like students losing their position in this world, and grown ass adult is acting like kids. So again, thank you to everybody that's been watching, listening. We're just, starting next week. We're gonna start with all the guests that will be coming in. And you know what I mean? Because again, this is anything goes, and anything goes is a very, very intense, full podcast. I just realized somebody might have stole one of my damn vinyls, my Wu Tang vinyl. If that's the case, that person's gonna get hurt because they're on camera. So ain't that's the funny part. You know what I'm saying? But again, the blessings is a must, and we just gotta keep on be thankful for all the blessings that we've been handed to. So this week, I wanted to first of all, I wanted to just jab at my arch nemesis from '96. I said it last week. Who I was really kicking with. And you all may not be able to see me because, again, the windows is open, and I gotta tell that because I'm that guy. I'm gonna go that far and lift it with me. So I'm gonna get to who my enemy is from '96. If you all know me, you all know that I speak on some real shit. Don't know why this wasn't properly closed. But I want to say I ain't gonna go out of my way and say LeBronto, but I want to laugh at fucking Toronto Raptors. I want to laugh at their fans. I want to laugh at their coach, and I want to sit back in my hate, and I basically just want to reflect on it. They got to number one, the number one seed, and what happened? Same thing that I said that would happen. That's right. I'm a fucking hater because fuck those guys. You know what I'm saying? Again, they disrespect Alberta in the '90s, and I never let that shit go. You know what I mean? That's the way that my system work. That's the way that this system work. Doesn't forget shit, so why the fuck should I? It's as simple as that. We go into that. But hopefully they can at least win one game, to show a little face, you know what I mean? But again, the coach, once he's going to Cleveland. That's just something that I know and the way that the game plays. You know what I'm saying? Also, I want to send a big shout out to Washington, you know what I mean, on the hockey side. They've been, almost slain their demons. Their demons is Pittsburgh. So that's a different That's a different thing. The Lightning's one also on that side. Golden State be whooping ass on basketball side, so I ain't gonna say much. Like the monsters are still there. So to everybody that's banking on that shit and making money off that bet, what I mean? You gotta hook your boy up. Hook your boy up. Simple as that. All right. So let me get into the details out what I got planned. Basically, I have to discuss the event that we put on this weekend and the funny part about the whole event, and basically just break it down from top to bottom. Because like again, we have to look at small things before we understand big things. You know what I'm saying? And this goes to a lot of the local artists, and I'm going to basically like discuss that. But before I discuss that, I want to send another fuck you to that like fucking lady in Nova Scotia. Like, I mean, I received some details last night from her, like from just what was taking place and whatever, and yeah, like a woman saying, "Hey, Jamaicans are lazy." I'm never gonna stop shitting on that because I seen all my moms get her work in, my cousins, my uncles, my like even my little demanos, man. Like I mean, like and like it's just one of those things that it have to be rectified because again, how much more people is going to be damaging along the way? You know what I'm saying? Like for a stupid comment and a stereotype comment, right? So, I'm not saying burn her at the stake, but what I want her to know is like, I mean, like people are gonna like, I mean, be on her ass, and she have to be like accountable for the words that come out of her mouth stupidly. You know what I'm saying? When you say dumb shit, especially if you're representing the people that's paying for you, as in the taxpayers, they have to be issues with that. Same thing that comes to Johnny Law. If you're paying your taxes, even if you're not, they work for society. Society doesn't work for them, right? But we're gonna get on that topic after. You know what I'm saying? But with Madame, you know what I'm saying? Like, she basically have to understand the process and realize like the situation of what's taking place and what damage can be done. You know what I'm saying? And as you can tell, I'm wearing my tough house too because I can. But, you know, the whole concept and the whole idea of this issue is, you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna go out there and say, "Hey, these people are lazy," and then like I always get back down to it and like, what is a Jamaican? Show it to me, because 99.9% of the people can show me what the hell is a Jamaican. They have an illusion of what a Jamaican is, but they don't have no idea. Just the same thing as the illusion of freedom in North America. You know what I'm saying? And again, think about that. The illusion of freedom in North America. You know, the illusion of freedom in the first world countries. Because, like, do you really have freedom? That is one of the questions that I wanted to ask, and I want to put it out there. You know, do you really have freedom? Yeah. Some people may say, yeah, we have the freedom to vote and this and that. Really? Like, yeah. Some people may say, well, we have the freedom to get up and say what we want and all that. Yeah, to a degree. Some people may even go out of their way and say, hey, we have the freedom to choose what sex we want to be. Like, is that so? What I'm getting at is look at it before you speak on it, because it's a strong illusion, you know, in the air. It's like puffing a joint and all that smoke comes up. You know what I'm saying? So you have to truly understand like the bargaining chips and how this goes and how it plays in society today. Now, Canada itself is considered a first world country, but I guarantee you go to a so-called third world country, and the big word is so-called, or a so-called second world country, and I guarantee they have more freedom to do as they wish. So, you know, again, the difference is again the wording and how it's put together and how the format comes together. You know what I'm saying? So we have to truly understand that. So now, as a representative that represents the people, and I don't care if you're left, right, center, mid, up, down, whatever, the people is still the people. If you're going to go out of your way and bash someone, a culture or a subculture, something, then you need to get check, as what they say, rectify. You know what I mean? Shaken up. You know what I'm saying? Like go as far as even just like show up at your house and throw eggs on your window, like some real 80s shit. You know, like people may say, "Wow," but it's the truth. That is the reality that we have to live in and see what it is. And you know, what I mean, on one side, I'm thankful that she tried to give a ass off apology, and it's very ass off. On the other side, again, how deeply rooted is this, like process, this common sense, like I should say, this uncommon sense of somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the uncommon sense of people say, "Hey, I'm a Christian. If I fuck up, if I hurt somebody, I can just go and pray and say for and ask for forgiveness." As in, if I kill somebody, why? Because of that. That's a fucking uncommon sense. But look at me, I'll be dealing with that on a different time. You know what I mean? And it goes out to any process of this formalization. You know what I mean? Because it insults the intelligence of those who have intelligence. If you get what I'm saying. So, my man Mike is over there doing his thing. Like, yeah, like, we call him Podcast Mike. That's that. Like, we're also gonna have people calling in like starting in the next bit, and we want to kind of keep the flow of all things going. And some people are running late, but we gonna get here. We gonna get here. But back to what I'm saying now. We're gonna get to a. I always I love getting to the music piece, and it's a beautiful day. It's been so wonderful in the Midwest here. And I don't know about the West Coast, or I guess I could say I know about Central, East Richmond, Ontario. It's been raining there, so they ain't getting the beautiful sunshine that we got. But I just want to send a shout out to all my peoples. You know who you at. I mean, you guys motherfucking know what's good. You know, that's the slango I'm using. What's good. I hate the fucking term "what's goody." I remember my little cousin used to say that, and I wanted to slap the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't pan out in that sense. But on some real ass shit, you know what I mean? Like life is going on, and a lot of people are losing theirs, and it's sad with the disasters that's taking place elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? And peace in North Korea or South Korea. You know what I mean? Like that's what they say. But what is really peace? You know what I'm saying? It's a different process of thinking. Because business is one thing, and I'm gonna kick a little bit of game for you all. Like as though the old heads kick game for me. Like business to acquire things is different from peace. Like when you're friends. You know what I'm saying? Nelson Mandela also stated that when he had to do business with Israel and all the other nations that was a part of the apartheid. Most people don't know that. Like Nelson said, "Hey, I know who my friends are, but I know who I still need to do business with for my people." You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. There's certain things in the water and certain things that's going, what I mean, like there, right? But you have to really sit back and analyze what it is because, like, I mean, again, I don't like to brag like about the intellectual value that I have, but ask yourself how many of you all out there in, in this wide world have read a book lately. I've picked up a book and gone over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, challenge yourself on that level. Like, if you don't challenge yourself on that level, you're gonna cut like yourself short. That's the detail that we need to push forward. You know what I'm saying? in the detail of being people say, hey, we're wuss and this and that. Now, it's not that we're wuss now, it's people are chasing things like a dog chasing its tail. And nobody's saying you got to just not do, but you have to, again, as what I spoke with my cousin in New York on, like you have to understand working hard and working smart can be the same thing. You know, you have to just be willing to put a bit in that, right? So these are just some of the steps again that we at the house here been manifesting, you know, like as what they say the sauce or the source or whatever that it is. I can't pronounce H's A E U. I can go all over. You know what I mean? I cannot pronounce a lot of these things. Why? Because Ingledo is my third language. Again, it's a different stake that in the value that we do, right? But our hopes and our journey, you know what I mean? Like it's a different push, I should say. Now, the reason why I wanna take it there is like how many of you all also study the Canadian politics? We're in Canada. How many Canadians really study Canadian politics? I guarantee I can say 10%, if so. And like that 10% have to be, I'm assuming, the farmers, because they have to protect their land till this day. You know what I mean? Now you ask yourself the question: why, if they find natural resources within the land that you bought, that land, that natural resources doesn't belong to you? Does anybody ever ask that question? Do people understand that? So what is the value of the land if the land value do not belong to you? How did this come about and why? Heck yeah. I want one of my players out there, or my playette. That's what the ladies are called, the playettes, you know what I'm saying? Because they do what they do, you know what I'm saying? But, these are some of the details, man, like we have to look at. You know what I'm saying? I got to call on my boy David Suzuki and ask him also, because Suzuki, as what we call him, he's a pretty intellectual fella, you know what I'm saying? But it gets there in so many different formats in so many different ways, right? Where, again, the system fools people into thinking that the system needs certain things. And it takes, and just the same thing as what I told my mom today. I said, I can't believe the last generation fucked it up so bad for us. And she's kind of stunned. She didn't really understand what I was talking about. What I'm getting at is, this is another side pieces because anything goes. I'm talking about finance, I'm talking about credit. Who remember the time when money, dollar, toonies, the paper cash that you had in your hand was all power? Didn't matter how shitty your so-called credit is.
No such thing as a mortgage back in our grandparents' day.
Exactly, right? How did they slip up and lose a whole of that? And now the credit man have control over everything. It burns me because my credit is good. You know what I mean? But for all my other people out there that's going through it, don't get me wrong. Like they say, even if you have no credit now, it's still bad credit. Ain't that shit? Because I remember as a youngster, no credit was good credit because you didn't owe anybody nothing. But now, if you haven't been in debt, you're basically in debt. You like how fucked up is that? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. You know what I mean? Like, how fucked up has the system gone? And this is what I look at my old head, my mom's, and I said, look, you all fucked up this for us. You know what I'm saying? I'm a young man in this world. Luckily, I got great friends, and luckily I've done great things in my journey to where I'm at. But again, nobody thinks about that. How did it goes from no credit, here's your cash, here's the what you want, to hey, you have to have credit. What really is credit? When you really break down the facts of what credit is, it's you coming into my studio and I say, hey, you know what I mean? I can give you a cup of credit. You know what I'm saying? And basically, that's the one thing. Now, if you're saying, hey, are you a trustworthy person? Can I trust you with this? Can you stand on your word? Are you willing to back what you say? Then that's a different story. But the idea to block people from living because they don't have a substantial of where they can earn something from, that's fucking ludicrous. That's fucking outrageous. You know what I'm saying? So that's the madness behind it when I say, you know what I mean, the process of no credit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like no, like because again, no credit should always mean, you know, you're in a good standard. Like yeah, and good standard is a blessing. You know what I mean? When you can basically say, hey, I am not in a well of credit debt. Like especially when the youngsters are coming up. If they don't have a credit card, but they have money that they work, whether it's a McDonald's or gardening or pulling something around, why are they penalized for not having credit? These are the things that you know what I mean? Like, why does the system now try to penalize them? And I know why. Because this is what the system is, right? You get locked in a debt, and the debt system that you get locked in basically keep you there and keep you on the feet, under their feet, or I should say, under a big ass car. You know what I'm saying? To hold your ass down. So this is my, you know, process of it. People, you have to ask yourself the question: how do you get out of it? What can you do to monitor it? What can you do to step forward with it? You know, like these are the basic things. And I'm talking about before any debt pieces. Because as what I said earlier, Freud, like it's like if you don't have debt, you can't acquire anything. But if you have debt, you are now underneath their rules.
Yeah.
But you can have $1 million, $1 billion. You know what I mean? I'm a man where I like to have cash.
Yeah.
I'm in a business of cash. You know what I mean? I run a studio, I run a recording label, I run a magazine, I run many things, and I like certain things certain way. Like I mean, not to say my credit is not proper, but after I sit and analyze it, and as what I was telling them, this is what I was speaking with my moms about.
Yeah.
How their generation have destroyed it. Like for our generation. And I wonder where that loop changed. You know, like I sit back and I think about that. You know, how did that get there? You know, and now how can we, you know, help to withstand it or at least slow it down? Because now people can't get a home to live in, even without credit. Because again, like apartments are saying, hey, you don't have credit, we can't rent you shit.
That is true.
But you have money and you have a good, like, you know what I mean? And if you have a good standard of paying all your bills correctly, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. On time. Because not everybody likes credit card. Not everybody likes to be in fucking debt. But, you know, I don't like using the term the new slavery to the system because anybody can now use the term slavery in that piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's, you know, I'm looking at that as a testimony in a sense, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I also spoke on, you know, my arch nemesis from '96, the Toronto Raptors. Life is good. It's my time now to shine after all these years of hate. Finally come forward. And I fucking hate LeBron James too. You know what I mean? His goddamn hairline is coming back though. You mean? Like LeBron's taking advantage of the weak East and think he can ball. You know what I mean? I want to see him do that against the West. You know what I mean? Like, or a well-built team that can go toe-to-toe. You know what I mean? And see how much he cries like a biatch. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it all goes down. That's just me jumping back to sport. I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of the details. I also told a lady, fuck you also. The same lady from Nova Scotia, Halifax, a biatch. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way that it goes. You know what I mean? And her shitty-ass apology.
Yeah.
You know, and she wants to sit with people and talk. What is she going to say with people and talk? You know, I don't want to sit with her ass. You know what I mean? Maybe if she buy me dinner and the crew. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't just go somewhere by myself. I like to bring my peoples along. Look here. But, again, the reality is, like your brothers and sisters, we got to understand what it comes to when it comes to death. You know what I'm saying? And the financial pieces to it, how it affects people, and how we can get out of this so-called illusion that we live in of freedom. Because, again, as what I said, if this was freedom in a sense, will they want you underneath a debt system?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So wake up from the illusion and understand what it is. You know what I mean? Wake up, wake up, wake up. I'm not saying that we cannot proceed life and achieve life and all the things, but let's try to live life on a fair scale. Now, I'm gonna get to something that I wanted to get to, like the music this week. You seen that? You seen that video by Childish Gambino?
Yeah.
America?
Yeah. This is America.
What do you think?
I haven't unpacked it yet, but like just based on the first watch through that I did,
No.
it's heavy. I mean, you can tell he like put a lot of thought into it. Like there's an artistic touch to it. Like it's like
It's fucking. Oh man, I like it's again. You know, you got Drake. You know what I mean, sampling. I guess I should say in his last song. You know, sampling Lauren from. This is from the Canadian Factory of Things, via the South. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got Kate out and them on the West, just killing it, doing what they do.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But Childish Gambino, you know what I mean? D fucking glove, you know what I mean? He caught the ball just now, you know, because like that video that he did not only sums up the process of what's been going on for many, but the ending of the video
yeah,
is really what really gets me. And the reason why I understand so much the ending of the video is him running from all the bullshit and it's just chasing him. As in society itself, they're like the lynching, like the madness, of what been going on for so many years.
Yeah.
They say 400 years, and we all know that that's bullshit because it's been longer than that. So you know what I mean? Like it's just, you know, it's the process of what it is. You know what I mean? So when you see the video pieces of it, and hopefully people actually take in note, not just the artistic value of the video, but also taking notes the song, the sounding of the video,
yeah,
and like the different pieces that comes in it. You know what I'm saying? Like that I have to give that one anything goes #1 for thumbs up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
fresh.
Because like it brought to the value of what I've been trying to explain to artists and what I've been trying to do like with art. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't sit back and await. And again, with the American president being in and with the Canadian president being in, you know what I mean? Like the time that we're in right now, it's a very great time in a sense for art, for the expression of what it is. You know what I mean? Like, because now a lot of great talent are not only gonna come forward, like on both sides of this magnificent plane that we live in. They're gonna basically looking for different ways to touch people's understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, we have to look at the satire, the build up of what it is. You know what I mean? Again, I said it before. Like within the Christmas period, you know what I mean? In North America, it's more so it becomes a commercialized process. The real foundation of what it is comes forward, right?
Yeah.
In in Central America, South America, and the whole and back home, you don't get that. You get more so the spiritual process that they push.
Yeah.
You mean to try to what do you call it when you try to recapture people's mind? Like that's the time that they push that shit to rescape it. Like I mean, a lot of time I look at people and I see they're on their praises, and you ask yourself the question. On a side note, it's like you have so much more religious people now, for instance, but yet still there's so much more heinous crime. You understand? Like think about that. Like how many more religious people we have now? Everybody and their mama is all about God. But now there's still way more bloodier crimes that was taking place prior. Why is that?
Like, is it in when you say they're more religious people?
Like as in population, when you see people in itself, for instance, like whether they're online, whether they're whatever, they're always like, well, God come first, this and that. But yet still, you know what I mean? If the creator comes first, why are so much evil deeds are being done? No, what do you like? Give me your viewpoint.
I feel like first of all, I don't think anyone fully understands religion, like except the gate holders. You know, the people in the Vatican. They understand. They know what religion is. They know, but like the masses, a lot of them, it's a brainwashing tool. It's a propaganda. It's a propaganda tool. Like above anything else. So like it's not understood to the core. So like people might preach and preach to be as religious as as anyone else, but like because they don't understand what exactly the essence of what religion is. Religion is different from spirituality. If you are spiritual, then if you understand your spirituality, then you'll be fine. But a lot of people use religion to define their spirituality, which is false because then you're not actually
Spiritual.
Not exactly.
You're crutching in something that you don't understand. So stop the fucking crutching. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things that, I see my mom. My mom's a odd kind of woman. You know what I mean? Because like my mom taught us a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Over the years, but one of the main things that she also taught us was to have her own opinion and basically learn to basically look at things from a few different angles.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I picked that up and I ran with that for years until I fully understood. I went from a cocoon,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, to my family emblem, the butterfly. You know what I'm saying? Because like the idea and more. It's just like I just see very, very evilish things that go on, and when evilish things are going on, one must speak on it.
Yeah.
One can't sit back and smile and shook and jive. No. You know what I mean? So back to that video. What I liked with that video was it took the time to dive deep.
Yeah.
Into the conscious of things.
What are some of the things that you got from it,
from the video?
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I got that. You know what I mean? Like within that chaos and the term America, for instance, you know what I mean? Like just because people always think it's America as in like the United States of America, but people don't understand the term America means it's a wider scale of destruction of what the America has been going through.
Yeah.
Right? But I also got the process of like gun violence is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like it's been like getting done, Mike. I know. So gun violence been a very, very intense thing. Drug use is another. Cigarette use is another. Like I mean, and it's not just gonna get up and walk away, but we always try to dissolve it in a sense that there's like you make so many disruption off it
Yeah.
that there's a million disruption that's taking place that in no time it fade, if you know what I mean. The meaning that you're going for fade. So within that video, I picked up on a lot of that. You know what I mean? Like you cause chaos
Yeah.
to basically distract people. That's one of the bigger tools that was being used in there. You know what I mean? Because when you have the chaos of things, you know what I mean? People are worrying about the chaos over here and not understanding what's taking place. So there's so many levels that you know what I mean that I end up picking out of that video.
Yeah.
Right? So like we're talking about Childish Gambino America, the new video.
Oh, okay. I haven't
So
seen that yet. No.
it's it's very intense, like visually, but I also like the ending of it, and that's what I was saying. Where because like within the song, he also said Kodak, right? And he's talking about Kodak, like meaning like young black man,
Yeah.
like that include the whole Latino concept.
Yeah.
Also, that in like I mean like also poor white folks that's being locked up in prison. Because if you all know Kodak Black, his Kodak's been going in and out as a youngster, as a like I mean,
Yeah.
till now. So it's kind of funny how he he utilized that.
I was listening to Kodak when I came in.
Exactly. Like I mean, like so that's the you know what I mean, that's the basic thing, right? So there's so much level, but when he's running and the song itself,
Yeah.
it had the auto tune, but although we're now into 2018, still that same cycle is going on. You know what I mean? It's just put on a different shoot and tie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To disguise itself. You know what I'm saying? That's the madness that's taking place right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like and like the question is like now, how can we you know what I mean like see past it and don't be fooled? And because if we don't stand, you know what I mean, everything's gonna fall. I was talking about also the financial situation earlier with credit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how
They fuck you over. It's the Federal Reserve doing it.
well, the Federal Reserve is one thing. Like I mean, it's a private because it's a private entity, so they got to get their money. But it's like the decision that one make have turned things sideways. You know what I mean? So it's been it's been a very very outrageous process. You know what I mean? Like I mean, and like no, it's just like I don't know who the hell's calling me now.
Call her online too.
Like yeah, you all can call in. Like as simple as that. I have no clue who. I just keep it that way. It might be my lawyer. I don't know. If it is, you know what I mean? I'm El Importante, you know what I'm saying? Shit gets real. Like I don't do things to do things. Anything I do, there's a purpose behind it. And as I say, I'm gonna bring out I mentioned I'm gonna talk about the event that we had this
Yeah.
weekend, and just the different pieces to it, right?
Yeah.
But that's coming forward. But with Federal Reserve again like that, most people don't understand. Again, the Feds control North America on a wide scale. You know what I mean?
Well, it's these couple guys, Rockefeller and these other fucking billionaires who control all the governments around the world with their
Like-
fucking big bank, right? And the credit, just like when they're charging you interest and shit, they want you to screw yourself over so that you have to pay to them for the rest of your life.
The idea is big bank take little bank.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's to do with a part of it, but a part of the system is like if you, with promising and things like that, right? Like if you say no, 99% of the time you get eliminated. I was just talking with my main man, Mike, aka Jason. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about it and about last week what I was getting into, and I was explaining like there have been so much assassination within the nations where I'm from. Like back home, like coup d'etats, like it's going out of style. And why these coup d'etats? Because again, the way that the system is set, right? But we're coming forward now. You know what I mean? And we're understanding the game, and the game always shift when you fully when the people start understanding the game, they try to find ways to shift it, or they try to add more people into their ducats in a sense, not with the same value, but they add more, making me like it's like you see the movie Braveheart,
I haven't, no.
no, with Mel Gibson. You seen that one?
No, but
You all
I
gotta
know
take
about
them
I've
home.
heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard
Right?
of it, yeah.
But it's about land, right? Like it's about certain things, certain movement that was used to shift, like where Buddy wanted to be king. You know what I mean? Like, and so again, it's about analyzing it and seeing what one can do to better it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's to learn that piece. And again, you have the music side of things is on art, but I want to get to man, on a side note, because we're talking about music, right, as a whole, and what I mean, like it's just like what's been released over the last being, what I mean, like, and it's funny. I haven't really. I don't know if it's just the fact that the so-called mumble rap is finally dying, or it's because my ears is not so much onto that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even like a guy like 6ix9ine, for instance,
Yeah.
dropped like a track, and what I mean, like, and his track was actually decent. I could understand what it is.
There's some things. I heard a 6ix9ine track last night, actually. One of my friends played it, and it tripped me out. He was singing in it. It wasn't like his regular screaming and shit, And that's what I liked. And another chick that I actually like? I like that Bad Baby girl, that little freaking Catch Me Outside girl.
Yeah.
She's got some catchy tunes. Like, I just like the beat of it, and I like the way it flows.
Like,
You like everything. Like, you might not like them as a person, or you
Yeah.
might not like them as a whole, but you like certain songs.
I think the one, like, no, I listened to one of her song. Like, my cousin actually sent it to me, and
Gucci Flip-Flop?
he's like, what the hell's this chick saying? Right? And my cousin he's an odd motherfucking guy. And so for him to, like, you know what I mean, because he likes all that shit. But he couldn't get into what it is. Like,
Yeah.
he just, like, his mind was muffled, because he's like, it's like, one thing I hate is, and I believe that within our genre of music, it have to start being rectified. Not because you get popular, that don't mean you're gonna fucking drop an album or a fucking EP or something in the hip hop world. Do that shit in country music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like do that shit in rock and roll, and you see how fast they fucking pull you up and toss you out. You know what I mean? But for some reason, it seems like they only aim to do it in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, okay, cool, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not needed, because again, it downsides the value of what the other artists are doing. So maybe you know what I mean, the system itself is working itself out.
I feel like what they want to do is they want you to hear the dumb shit on the top 40. They want you to hear all this music that doesn't speak the truth.
Exactly.
Because as soon as you start hearing the truth, you're going to stop buying the fucking alcohol. You're going to stop buying the dope. You're going to stop fucking paying money to these banks, and you're just going to pay for things in cash instead. Like, if everybody knows that we're trying to be fucked over by the system, then nobody's going to be able to be fucked
that's
over anymore,
that's
and
what I'm
lose.
saying, though. Like, I mean, the way that the system itself is semi set right now is, even if you don't have credit, you're still in debt. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You need, because you're gonna say you need credit, well, to get this. But even if you don't have it, you're screwed. So the idea, you know what I mean, is to say, hey, how can we achieve, get from that, right? You know what I mean? And so, it's like, but I hear what you're saying. If the real is being told, you mean a lot of these things are not going to take.
And you can have a little bit of it. You can have like your J. Cole's or like your exceptions, right? Yeah. But they don't want everybody on the top to be like real. Because if you're too real, then they're going to lose power.
That is a process. I mean, it's funny. I always go back to the 90s when PE, and you know what I mean, the De La Souls and Grand Pumbaa, and you know what I mean, like Nine, and just like a lot of cats coming up that a lot of these MCs don't know. I was a child back then, but I remember and I seen it, and like when homies and we would get together and then we would fucking, like, this is too, like, hey, you can't charge me now for spray painting, but we would go and we would spray paint shit and just, run all over the place and, like on zinc fence. And this is like back home, you know what I mean? And so you had like basically guys rocking, like, I remember my older brother would rock his pants backwards.
Yeah.
And my uncle, rest his soul, one day whooped his ass and told him, Terry, like, put that shit around. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and it's hilarious to me because that shit is funny. But the understanding of, like, how these things were growing and just a good vibe. Like, you could choose a hardcore hip-hop, as what they call NWA and all that, or you could choose basically that conscious stuff. You know what I mean? You had a choice. It was on the radio. It was competing. It was very, very great. But now you have no choice.
Yeah.
Top 40 have swollen all that shit up. But then, I look at that and I say, remember, like, the original process of house music, for instance, right? Because most people don't know house music is black music. You know what I mean? Yeah. Finally, it's and with a killer beat behind it.
It's spiritual.
You know what I mean? Now, you look at that and you look at it now. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to explain to somebody. I said, now on two levels, it seems like the DJs of killer house music in a sense that it's you know what I mean. Some people say it evolved back to the DJs, right? Because before it would be artists singing over a killer ass beat.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's the DJs just playing music and then basically da 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 da, right? And then that's what I had to compare mumble rap to.
Well, yeah, I don't know. The only reason that people like that, in my opinion, is because they all fucking high on drugs in the club.
No, but
I don't know. Some people maybe,
but see though, like, for instance, like, I don't bash. How can I put it? I don't bash people doing dumb shit because a lot of time the way that society itself have now set itself is people want to escape it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no. I don't judge. I mean,
Like, and it's a different take in that sense. But again, we're adults. You know what I mean? And I say this to the little ones. Know what the fuck you want to do before you start doing anything stupid. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it's like me. I thought I wanted to be a singer. Then I started smoking a pack a day at 12 years old.
Nah.
That kind of changes things a little bit, you know?
And there you go, right?
You don't think. You just do.
Yeah.
Because that's what they are. They're kids.
I used to fuck with the Molly and all that shit, too, and go to the club and listen to the house music, and then you get over it after a while.
Well,
like,
it gets to you.
Or you don't.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, though, like, right?
Yeah.
The real life experience, right?
Yeah.
Because it gets to you in the sense that's like, how do you really, come forward with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole point of it is the solution of it, the evolution of it, and again, like the music field, because coming from when you had conscious hip hop, like a billion motherfuckers doing it right, or just guys just having fun with it, you know what I mean? To basically, with the hardcore stuff and the fucking whatever stuff you want to call it, because you had, you you come forward with that, then they have completely how can I put it? Radio stationize it.
Yeah.
Meaning it's like, here you go, you're just gonna get continuous mumble, nonsense rap, I like to call it.
Yeah.
Not even mumble rap, nonsense rap. And the real process of it, the conscious one is left behind. You still have the hardcore one that's going strong. You know what I mean? So I get a piece of the game, the puzzle that's being played. You know what I mean? But it's like the question is, how can we come out of that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And help to push it forward.
That's true, and it's all just about clout chasers these days, but at the same time, what I think is I used to judge Lil Uzi and all of them and be like, man, this shit's so whack, I could do way better and easily, But here's the thing, you don't actually realize how much money, how much time, how much effort it takes to put into that studio to actually put out a song. If you've actually heard him on the microphone, he sounds awful, terrible, man. but when you hear it afterwards, it actually has like it's catchy, you know, like it
Well,
has a
you
good
know, like
beat.
it's funny.
Like-
Have you guys seen The Simpsons when like a Bart and those guys were in a boy band?
Yeah,
And like they stank, but like it was a machine that would like smooth out their voice.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you mean like that's exactly like what it is. Even yesterday, I was at my cousin, and we were talking, and like I was also like we were talking about basically they could be in the Simpsons. There's another Simpson, for instance, and it's about like Apu was gonna get deported, and all these folks were gonna get deported. Right, like that's not American cinema, and it's like it's hilarious because this Simpson came out way before the selection, and all the shit. But like, but it predictate
Yeah.
what's coming.
that's creepy. They
Like,
predicted so much.
and but it's like I realize that it's not creepy, but it's just human nature.
Yeah,
Like, and because they've been around for so long that they have to write about so many things
Yeah.
that they do have studying it, like studying
Yeah.
things and studying people
yeah,
and seeing what it is.
and maybe
you know what
their
I mean?
predictions are just so
They're
accurate because
exactly
so good,
because
right?
they have been in the system for so long.
Yeah,
Right.
makes sense.
So it's very very super intense. Again, with the steps of things and you know what I mean, again with the J. Cole's, with like with basically the Kendrick Lamar's, like with the Drakes, with a Party Next Door, you know what I mean, and straight up I have to appreciate like the different sound value of the music.
yeah,
You know what I mean, and you know, like I'm not a fan of none of the Littles.
yeah,
You know what I mean? The reason why I'm not a fan of none of the Littles, you know what I mean? Like they're like because other people are behind them. I realized that when 6ix9ine went up to the radio station he was talking, there was guys that's connected to the radio hosts and stuff like that. They knew them and all that stuff, and they understand like you don't want to mess a man's money up.
Yeah.
But people are limited to like chasing money. You dig what I'm saying? Like I mean, so a lot of time, you know what I mean, you can get an artist with no talent and force a hand that you know.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's the sad part about it. But that's the process that it goes on. You know what I mean? So we as a whole, as the artist community, you got to understand. But then it start off with something. It start off with the willingness to do, the preparation value,
yeah,
and basically the investment tools. You know what I mean? That's why if an artist stink, I can't bash that artist for stinking. But what I can do is like look at who's around him
yeah.
and say, why does this artist, you know what I mean, like
And also their work
don't
ethic too.
exactly
You know?
like don't have the value because again, like I mean, like it's like you know, like, and this is where I'm gonna get into the like we had a show on Saturday, right? And you know what I mean, like the show on Saturday was awesome in the sense that it went on. You know, I can't really say how long, but it went on for quite some
I'm
time.
just laughing because I showed up
you mean,
like
like,
after
yeah.
everything was over.
Yeah,
and I did-
like you mean, no, but it was like it was rocking, like it rocked out for quite some time. Other folks show, you know what I mean. But what I'm getting at is, like you mean, like it's like you prepared. Like I do things,
yeah,
and when I do things not for me because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit.
yeah,
I could be the most selfish prick if I want to be the most selfish prick and never once do an event. You know what I'm saying? But when I do an event, my like the tone of the event is the people that comes out to the event, like as in the artist, it's to see the gauge of it because there's other artists saying, hey, put me on a big show, put me on a big show. You don't get on a big show if you can't take care of a fucking small show.
yeah. You gotta open up for people
Right.
before you're gonna be the
Yeah,
headline.
but it's like within these pieces, but not just
Yeah.
that. You have to also learn to perform. It's a performance battle. It's a performance pieces to it. It's a performance zazz to it.
yeah,
You know, if you don't come prepared and if you don't come and be humble and learn the pieces to it, you're never gonna get anywhere. And this is for all the other artists out there that say, hey, I want to get on one of these like big shows and this and that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, first and foremost, I'm going to tell you straight up, no, I'm not, like, I don't do shit like that. You know what I mean? And it's not that it's, oh shit, I realized you just called me. It's one of my buddy in Florida. But like, but you know what I mean? Like, but the process of it is, you know, because I do business with a lot of different like agencies and a lot of different people, I look at all artists. I look at what they built to it. I look at the step. We look at how we can help develop their projects. As in, like people forget that you're in the business of drilling for people. You're an entertainer. The more people that solidly with you, that's why J. Cole doesn't have to put out shit, and you don't really hear J. Cole music and played on the radio continuously. But J. Cole go platinum continuously. Why? Because he's built an audience.
You got the diehards.
Right? Exactly. The idea is about the audience, the people that's going to come out, the people are going to stick around, the people that's going to drink, the people that's going to have a good time and say, you know what? And that's why, like, I don't care if I had one person or two persons. Yeah. Like, it's like the idea is about, like showing up and being willing to rock and roll that shit. You know what I mean? And then take it from there. Like,
Be able to sip something. I'm forgetting.
drink water.
Yeah?
There's water in my office there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the way that piece go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, again, you look at the cool guys that come, those guys are not going anywhere due to the fact that they still think that they're in a fucking rap video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because, like, again, first and foremost, I'm doing something out of my fucking will. Even if I lose money, I'm still doing something to fucking see to the measurement. But if the people do not measure and they don't want it, then why the fuck would I waste my time? You know what I mean? So whether it's 2 people, 20 people, 10 people, 5 people, it doesn't matter. Like, I performed at fucking 3:30 in the morning. Like, because I told that kid that was like, it was his birthday that I would. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, we rocked it with them and shit like that. And, you know what I mean? Like, the idea was, like, I committed to something, so I had to cleanly, completely committed to what I committed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what's lacking, like, within the process of the Edmonton scene, the process of the Alberta scene, and the process of the Canadian scene. Everybody think they're too fucking cool to basically commit to something. You know what I mean? And that is why it's not the scene, like, it's not going anywhere in that sense. Because if you have guys that, like, think that they're cool and they're gonna come with a couple friends, then they're gonna go on stage and perform, and their friends are gonna say, hype them up. Yeah, they're good. But then when the fucking it's done, then what? Your friends can only bring you to a certain like.
That's why you go there with no friends and see who likes you.
You go there with no friends, but you also like the. But the idea is to continue, like, to build.
Yeah.
If you don't promote your stock, nobody else will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The show is to basically overlap the stock that you're promoting, right? You are the stock. You are the commodity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your commodity comes first. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the wider you become, the greater it becomes. The more appeal it becomes. So, you know what I mean? Like, so me speaking on that, it's just like, again, as I said, because I told homie I would perform with him, I went on stage and performed at fucking 3:30. You know what I mean?
That was like right after I left.
Nah, because that was the whole point. Like, he was there, and we wanted, like, it's like, yeah, like, I don't care what time, where, and how. You know what I mean? Because I made a man a promise, I had to complete that promise. You know what I mean? But the goal is, whether it's a fast push, a low push, or whatever, it have to be committed. So people have to start breaking themselves in that concept in order, if we're gonna go anywhere. And this is for the local eds everywhere. You know what I mean? One of my partners there came out and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, like, you know, like, he listened to a lot of the underground stuff in Toronto, and it's like Toronto's trying to mimic Atlanta. And I started laughing because I said Toronto will mimic anything what it is, like, as in a lot of the artists, because right now this is what they think that's gonna get them proper. And Buddy's like, yeah, like, it's like they want to become the second Migos or whatever. But it's easy to throw fucking auto-tune on any song. You could sound like shit, auto-tune me up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, like, I was just more so discussing it with him while he was there. Just the basic process of the scene. You know what I mean? And what he can do to evolve his craft and his brilliance. You know what I mean? Because I believe there's a lot of brilliant artists within like the city. But again, if that brilliant art, like if people can't come out to support it, then it's only going to stay that place. You know what I mean? Like it's a, and then if you have people coming out, but yet still you're not, your head is bigger than your body. You know what I mean? Simple. Like it'd be like the reason why I can afford a lot of shit that I afford is I've sold over fucking 40,000 albums. Nobody have done that, and I sit back and I smile at people. You know what I'm saying? I'm on tracks in Brazil, I'm on tracks in England, I'm all over the damn place. But the difference with me is like I've sold that much units over over a decent time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, do I need like I don't need anybody in the indie artist strict. So, but I want people to come up because I'm never a selfish person in how you can basically balance that process. You know what I'm saying? You have to work to get it and push it. You know what I mean? But that's again, as I say, on the local music piece, we wanted to kind of put that out. You know what I mean? And get that. The next thing I'm looking for, and I want you all to look at, is like creative directors. Meaning like people that can shoot videos creatively. You know what I mean? Think with your head. You know what I mean? Like kind of your extension of you, of like an idea that you want.
Like when you're making a song and you can already picture your music video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's
Right?
really hard to get. It's like really, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I've
I always
been
like
thinking.
whenever I make a song, I'm always like, I'm just good at like fantasizing scenarios out in my head and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
But
I
it's,
like that.
But it's just that's the basic thing, because that's what's lacking. You know what I mean? You have a couple guys like that's been going at it, like young Sam J. You know what I mean? Sam J's a descendant from the house. You know, don't want to brag or boast, but I'm the granddaddy around town. Like but the idea is like give me good visual acts. You know what I'm saying? And how it can come forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's about that or learning or importing somebody in to come and do it.
Yeah.
But it takes time and a willingness to say, hey, how do I want to do it?
Well, and money too is the thing. It's expensive.
Time is money and money is time. But that's what I'm saying. Everything is like the business of music is expensive. Nothing is cheap. But the difference is if you don't invest back within your project, within you, you don't come forward. You know what I mean? If you're like, well, that's $50. I only got a sweet $5 on me. Then you're gonna like, yeah, because like if you do it properly, that $50 is gonna spot you another $250. You know what I mean? And then you take it forward from there. You know what I'm saying? Like so again, it's the willingness to work it because it's an industry. People forget the term industry. People bitch and moan when the guys is like, okay, well, such and such. If you work with people, cool. But if you don't work with a person, you're like, hey, I want a feature from you. You know what I mean? So long as that person's gonna come back and say, hey, you know what? I want a feature from you also later on.
Yeah.
It's a wheel. You know what I mean? You have to work
It's the
within the wheel.
exposure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Because, but it doesn't kill to come forward with that. So having a good like a video head, it's always a blessing. You know what I mean? Because people have the illusion that these videos just pop up out of nowhere. You know what I mean? You have to have treatments for it.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have video treatment, if you don't like sit down with the director or with the assistants to the director or with your assistant, you know what I'm saying? It takes a moment.
Yeah.
See, these are jewels that I like to give out to people that want to be a part of the music scene. And I want to be like, if everybody takes the time, like, not everyone is made out to be a rapper. Not everybody's made out to be a manager, because I know some guys that fucking try to fuck people over continuously. You know what I mean? Not everybody's made out to be promoters. I know some promoters that fuck people over also. Not everybody is made out to be DJs. I know some DJs that have no fucking rhythm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? but yes, still they'll say they're fucking DJs. You know what I'm saying? If you are not part of, if you don't know the soul of the music, you know what I mean? Even if you like the music, there's a difference between liking something and being like it's being in your DNA. You know what I mean? You gotta check yourself to see if you got that DNA. If you pop in a Whitney Houston song and she say, "I wanna know," like and you're fucking boogieing out of the blues, then you have that shit wrapped up in your DM motherfucking A.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're like, well, I don't know, and switch it over, then the groove, you may just like the song, but you're not, it's not there. So what I'm getting at is like you have to find a solution that fits you. Now, that solution may be a director, maybe a runner for the artist, maybe a show planner, maybe a tour manager, you know what I mean? Assistant manager. Not everybody fills the same slot. Until we start selecting people in positions to do what they fit best, the industry is not going to be as powerful as what it can be. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have same like guys that know nothing about music, but they're going to basically want to fucking rap. Or they're going to want to sing. Or they're going to fucking break dance. You understand what I mean? So we have to, again, it's not saying we have to be protective, but we need to continue to build a stronger process. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cursed and blessed at the same time. I'm cursed in the sense that I know a lot of business process because I took this journey at the age of 14. You know what I'm saying? Much longer than a lot of these guys like him, and much earlier than a lot of these guys that went to school to try to fucking do something. You know what I mean? Now, you know, that's my curse. I'm blessed because I've earned the knowledge and I've earned the right to say fuck you if I want to go here, if I want to go there. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference in, like, again, the relationship value. How you value yourself as a musician and as an artist, and take it from there. You know what I mean? People think a lot of things are super hard. Yeah. The hardest part of the whole industry is the snakes. You understand? You know what I mean? That's the hardest part of the music industry. If you can withstand the snakes, you can overcome anything. If you have a strong team around you, you can achieve anything. If your mind is set on success, you know what I mean, and you have a strong team that will work again on that same level as the videographer that you would like, then you cannot fail. You know what I mean? But due to the fact that a lot of people, their mind is elsewhere, you know what I mean, all that shit. Everything happened. Think about it. When I was recording the last album that I released, actually no, because we just released our Berta. When I was recording the last, I should say, the last Ways project, like Ways Life Itself, right? We recorded that. My son was just born. My son is the youngest kid to ever come to the studio. He was fucking, he was just born. His mom wanted to go back to school. I said, fuck it, go back to school, better yourself, because I don't want years from now you trying to fucking come at me for nothing at all. Yeah, because, you know, you have to analyze people, what people is. You gotta give me I have my own business. My son comes first. Let's rock and roll with it. You mean, that's how I see it, right? Now, to come for like a, so my son is on that album. He just saying, like, I mean, talking some shit, you know?
Those are actually, that can be good when you got that as in like an ad lib. Like, I've actually heard that in this R&B girl, I forgot her name, but she has, yeah, I think so. She has like a baby voice in the background of her track, and it actually sounds smooth.
It was nice. It was,
yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's the, but you know what I mean? Like the idea is like bringing the kids there. Like, so I come to work, I call it bring my son to work day. You know what I mean? I get in the motherfucking booth. He gets in his bottle and he just fucking sip. I go in the booth and I do what I do. You know what I mean? And like again, this is from when he's a little guy to now when he start walking. You know what I mean? And talking and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just the willingness to do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to like again gear the mindset up in that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the idea is like, you know, life is not gonna give you fucking candies, man.
No.
It ain't sweeties all the fucking time. You're gonna get fly kicked down some stairs anyway.
Well, it's like people ask me why you spend freaking $400 on a song and then you still don't like it and you want to redo it. It's like, cause that's just what it is. Sometimes you don't have the right producer, the right sound. Sometimes it is what it is, and you just end up wasting that $4 and you gotta go pay the next $4.
Yeah.
You know, like it's all
At the end of
determination.
the day, if you're gonna do it well. That's like
That's it, right? Like, I still have the stems and everything, but I'm gonna have to put more money into it because I didn't get what I wanted. Because I'm new to this as well, right? Like, you don't know everybody in the industry when you first come in.
Yeah.
You have to meet people, and the way you meet people is by producing shit.
Yeah.
If you don't produce nothing, you're not gonna meet nobody.
Well, it's just like I mean, it's just the fun fact of the business. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it also shows their measurement. Everything within this music business is about measuring. Measuring your steps, measuring your classic, measuring where you want to go, measuring, you know, the appeal of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't measure it, then you fail, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it is from the artist's perspective. Like, the beauty about it is me as an artist, I understood that. You know what I mean? But my goal as a businessman, my goal as a management, like owner, is basically to make sure, like, I mean, like, if you look at, I've done about fucking 1,500 shows. And I've been on, I think, on my 1,500 show, 2 shows as an artist.
Okay.
Everybody else I've put on clearly on the show. The reason why is because, like, I understand that I have to, like, when I'm doing shows, I like to step back and take control over the show that we're doing
Yeah.
The management.
and push, exactly, and put the artist first because that's the concept. The artists have to come forward. You mean? But again, it takes both sides to make sure that things are more powerful than ever before. You know what I'm saying? So right now, what we're talking about, we're reaching like it's like I mean like I get it out there to the artists, get it out there to the designer, get it out there to everybody. A position that we have to play is what it is. Give me your opinion. Like, I want both of your opinion, man.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think you do have to have a team. You can't do everything alone. You need people. Like the creative director thing, it's really, really true. Like a lot of times you have all these concepts, but you need someone outside of yourself to like refine it sometimes or to make it the best thing it can be to mobilize people. Because sometimes some people, they're very good at coming up with stuff. They're very good at creating stuff, but they're not the best at mobilizing people. And in a city like ours, it's actually hard. Like you said, commitment is a big problem. People don't want to commit. You know, there's people that tell you yes, you know, you book them for something, you know, come act in this music video or this concept, this short film that I have to go with a project. And it's like everyone is on board until like 2 days before. Then, you know, you get all this news of, oh, I can't make it, I can't do it, you know, stuff like that. It's very sort of, it's kind of hard, especially in this city. Like, I think we've talked about it before, like we said, because, you know.
No, like it's like people jumping ship. No, we never really tell about. But give me your opinion. You're the lady on the board.
Hello. Yeah, no, like I agree too. It takes like a whole team. You need a whole team of people around you. You can't do it by yourself. I mean, you could try to do everything by yourself, but like you said, like especially for you, it's important when you're putting on a show. You want to be the person who makes sure the show goes good for everybody. And if you're being an artist too, you know, it's probably too much for one person to handle on their own. That's why you need the team of people around you so that you can accomplish everything that you put your mind to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, again, it's just you know like because again, it's about the proper team. Anybody can say, "Hey, we're a team." Like, I got like fucking 4 DJs, and I ain't gonna lie. 3 out of the 4 DJs are lazy fucks. No, like I'm gonna tell it like it is. Like I don't care what it is, you know. Like, and it's just like you have to basically see past that shit. You know what I mean? But people are strong with certain pointers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, two other DJs I can bank on, while the other two I can depend on. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's just a reality if what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just the same thing as artists. If artists don't come and put out, then are they really artists? Or are they just fucking like, hey, I rap for my friends?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, check me out. I'm rapping for my friends, son. You know what I mean? Like, do they understand the process of it? That's why I don't call them artists. I call them artists. I kind of shorten that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I slow that shit down. No, like, but it's because, like, I mean, like, they're not willing, like, I mean, again, anything you do, it's a risk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to take a risk, you know what I mean, to basically stand a ground. You're creating things, you have to be there. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, people don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, again, you know, like, the one thing that I find is, like, you know what I mean? Like, guys were late. This guy was late at a show. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think he was late, but he was here earlier, help us pack the stuff, right?
I didn't even know that
So-
that's what was going on there. I literally just ended up walking in there and it was like, hey, it's you.
Yeah, because it was like what it was more so just like a get together in a sense. Because like I didn't put my full press on it.
I wish I would have seen the performances. I really do.
Like
I
the
wish I would
performance
have
was a
known.
little spenter. Like these guys did their piece up front, and then the other guys. But the difference is, again, people don't speak on it. Nothing comes out of it.
Yeah.
But because I didn't normally, I put like I mean I'll let people know personally like, hey, I want you there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, like I mean, but I didn't feel like I have to fucking tell anybody, hey, I want you there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, but whoever showed, it was kind of funny because I mean, like, I just want to have a good time.
Yeah.
That's really it. Like, I mean, I wanted to have a good time, which I did. You know what I mean? But I wanted to more so, like, people understand, like, in order for anything to build, you have to have a community. You have to have a good time. You have to make sure that you can chit-chat with people. You know what I mean? Because, like, the value of what the artistic community is if you don't use it and it fails, then whose fault is that?
Your own.
You know what I mean? I've seen it rebuild 3 times. You know what I mean? Why? Because different guys. You have scumbags. You have artists that believe that they're the greatest fucking things since Sugar and Water, and you know Sugar and Water is great. You know what I mean? For a broadcast brother, they can be like, yo, give me some Sugar and Water, or cornflakes with water in it. Yeah, that's like you mean like after that.
Yo, that's some next level.
A side note, I had to let my son eat that shit like a while like back because
Cornflakes
like
and water?
this nigga would fucking go like he would go through all the milk. I'm like, yo, I'm not buying any more milk for your tall little ass. You know what I mean? Like, drink that shit with water. Because, like, when we were coming up, we had to drink that shit with water.
That's what it was.
You know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, it made me a good man. I get it. And so it's funny because I was talking with him a couple days ago, and he's like, you remember your dad, you made me drink like cereal with water. I'm like, there you go. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to learn sometime. Like, you're not just going to get what you want. You know what I mean?
I've been broke enough to eat a bread sandwich, but that's about it.
There you go. You have to sacrifice certain things. And that's what it is within the music structure. We have to look at it like that and understand, like, you know, like, what are we willing to sacrifice? You know what I mean? What are we willing to push forward? Because, say, for instance, now, you know, there's 3 A&Rs coming in. And they want to meet different things. But, again, it costs money to meet and all that shit. What's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, if there's not artists being, like, I mean, taking care of what they need to take care of, why do we risk bringing in these guys? So they can come and say, hey, these guys are fucking jokes.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Preparation for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? That is the process of it. That is the concept of it. That is what makes it grow forward. You You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so again, it's like, I'm done with the plain thing. I'm done with the other thing. Like I told these guys, because we have to first and foremost have the barbecue this year. Last year we missed it. We always have a barbecue every year. You know what I'm saying? You know, real thugs cook real meat. We don't do that fucking hot dog fucking
Ribs.
shit. You know what I mean? Ribs. Some folks may have, but we get chicken. We got all kind of shit. I don't want to brag,
No,
but real ass food.
Make
you know
sure
what I'm
you
saying?
send me the invite to that one.
Oh yeah, like I mean, like it's like everybody get invited out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just the way that we do it. You know, so it's just like we try to make sure that people understand. You know, like it's like mind, body, and soul. But let's get to the other. Like I want to get to the other piece here. I just walked the app before we started this, and I seen these folks putting out their flower on the balcony and shit like that. It actually made me smile. Although I'm sweating like a fucking animal, it made me smile. Like, a little tear came in my eyes, but because I'm a hard guy, I had to tell it to go back up. You know what I mean? I said, no, like, not right now. So that tear went back up.
I always see that on your story. You're like, oh, look at my plants.
Yeah, fucking A. You know what I mean? Plant is life.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, that's why we breathe.
Exactly, right? The cycle of life. But I love the fact that, you know what I mean? Like, it's good. And I love that people are enjoying that goodness. And that gives health and wealth. Like I was just explaining, I got to actually send a message to chick. She got an indoor gardener. And, they're asking, like, what can she put with that indoor, in it? And I'm explaining to her, I'm like, a lot of people don't, again, I have to reiterate this, people don't understand that there's two different type of plants, right? There's the hybrid plants, hybrid, which is tomato and all these things that you can get, right? But the same GMO that you're running from, is in these plants, right? It's already pre-seeded in it. You know what I'm saying? So you're growing it from a suckling all the way up, cool. But these things preceded. So you now have to be very, very careful in what it is. You know what I mean? Then there's organic plants. Organic plants is basically the healthy ones. May cost you a little bit of shilling, as what they would say. That mean money. You know what I mean? Or pesos. Or where the hell you are in the world. But at least, you know what? You will be more secure and healthier. You know what I mean? So to my peoples out there that's planting and dancing and enjoying this fruitful weather that we call sunshine, you know what I'm saying? Just remember two things. It gets cold at times still. But again, health is wealth. If your ass ain't healthy, how can you be wealthy? Pow! See that? You know what I mean? See how I just rhymed that shit?
Yeah,
If your ass ain't healthy, how can you be wealthy? And it's the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, one of the like to tie into what we were talking about earlier about finance. You know what I mean? The next checkpoint is health. If your ass is if you're not healthy, your finance will be raw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People gotta understand that, and it starts with what you're putting in your temple, your house. You know what I'm saying? Your house is your body. You know what I mean? I dropped the album, Don't Bet Against the House. People think I'm talking about the label Tough House. No. I'm talking about your body, yourself, your temple.
That's deep.
Yeah. Like, I mean, as deep as Los Angeles, man, Ominous Scandalous, Big Bad Los Angeles. That's how deep I get. You know what I mean? But it's the reality, because it was a three-sided sword to it. I wanted people to understand that, because like in the biblical book, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It said a man, you know what I mean, never forsake his temple, which is his body. A woman, as in the human species, that means you don't abuse it. You know what I'm saying? Everything in moderation. That's how you win the race. But again, because that they're force fed so many things and say, yo, fast food is the most delicious thing ever. Have some. You eat that, say, 5 times a week. You know what I mean? You start seasoning up your wheels. You know what I mean? And people are catching cancer and don't know how they're catching cancer. but it's because they don't understand what they're putting in their system. You know what I mean? Like, I don't smoke weed, but I'm gonna tell you something fucked up, and this is what got me. I went to go visit a homie of mine's a couple weeks back, I tell you. You know, like, and it was his birthday. So I'm like, all right, motherfucker. Like, he's been like, come on. So I went to his fucking place. This motherfucker now, like he's having a hot box because like he's a smoke loyalist, like I mean, and I love him for it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you have all these motherfucking football heads there watching the football, and like he's just smoking, like, yeah, my birthday. Or what? His woman's fucking basically making wings. She put 500 wings in a pot, you know what I mean, and making it. I have no fucking clue what's taking place, you know what I mean? So now, you know what I mean, I'm watching the game and I'm talking to a homie and say, okay, such and such, right? Like, I mean, like, I'm there just to visit. Like, I am, when I say a virgin, like, I'm an advocate for it, but I'm a virgin in all ways. I never once put it in my body. No.
Oh, shit.
My body is fucking very, very peaceful.
You must have just been high as
No, but like, so he's smoking. I'm still good because I've been in the fucking hot box. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what I'm saying? I've been around the block. You know, like I'm a man. I can deal with that shit. So anyway, like, I mean, like, his lady's like, hey, wings. You know, so she's serving all these like sides and stuff like that. You know, so I took fucking about 30 wings. You know what I mean? I eat those wings. Like, you know, I felt good like a champ. His brother's like, hey, I gotta get to work, but I'll see you guys later on. So okay, cool. But and I was like, yo, I gotta punch out. I gotta get to another spot in the south to watch the other game with my other friends, right? You know what I mean? These wings were spicy and nice. I get out to my car, you know what I mean? And that's when it all started happening. Now,
when you walk outside,
she told me, hey, she like, after I had these things, cause he's like, hey, hon, did he tell him? I'm like, so she cooked with the butter, and then the spice itself was all fucking, also, wait. So my other buddy had these spices. Yeah. So like, so these motherfuckers. So now they gave this shit to me.
Okay.
So I'm fucking like, I got like to my car, and I'm like, why do I feel like different? It took me 2 hours to get to fucking the south side. That normally take me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I stopped trying to take a nap and I couldn't fucking do it. Like, and this thing lasts I missed a whole lot of game.
It's stronger than even smoke.
And
yeah.
But this is what I'm getting at. I missed my cousin's birthday.
Wow.
Like, I missed literally 2 days. You know what I mean? And when I see that motherfucker, he's like, sorry, man. Like, and so he's like, I'll buy you a beer. I'm like, I want to choke you. But what I'm getting at is, you know what I mean? Like, it basically, I couldn't get it out of my system. When I'm drinking, for instance, I can stop. I can choose to stop drinking. This, I had to make it run its own course. Mm-hmm. And this is why I say, like, when you eat the wrong stuff, when you're eating fast food, when you're putting it within your system and you can't get it out. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know what you're eating, if you don't know what you're growing, as in your plants and stuff like that, like as in like tomatoes, you know what I mean? Most people eat tomatoes all together with everything else. Facts, you cannot eat tomato all together with everything else. It is not good for you. It's not active. You eat tomato on its own. Most people don't know that. Yeah. The way I found this out was like, there's a lady, she had cancer, and she beat cancer. How she beat cancer, she beat it like she was reading like all the natural process of food. And she started following these natural process of food. And she whooped cancer's ass.
So wait, are you saying you can't chop up tomatoes and put it in your food?
And eat it you eat it separate. You're supposed to eat it separate.
I'm gonna die. Like, I like tomatoes in my food.
Yeah, like you mean, but that's the thing, right? You know what I mean? Like it's like sometimes I'll just go on a really cool ketchup on my rice. People like, what ketchup? I'm like, yeah, I like ketchup on my rice. I'm a
I like
weirdo
ketchup
at
on my
times.
I like ketchup on my
macaroni.
rice too.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's odd, right?
Yeah, it's-
But certain
People
things,
don't understand.
Yeah.
I like ranch on my rice, but that's a white person thing, I think.
Okay.
That's some weird shit, but I like it still.
But if the ranch is right, hey, you know what I mean? Like it's just about how it comes together, right? You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I mean. Like, it's just like, again, the most important pieces to the tool is to know what's going in your system
Yeah.
and how your system is going to react to it. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Where most people just eat and like they don't get it. You know what I mean? Like cooking at home is magnificent in a sense because it's already proportionate in the spices that you use. You know what I mean? But a lot of time, the things that you're using, you know, it's like, you know, people don't take the time to read. Hey, is this chicken free roaming chicken or they're captive?
Yeah.
In a sense, so they give out stress.
Are they injected with
fed
hormones?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, you have to know the process. You know what I mean? But also, that affects also your finance.
Yeah.
Because if you have to basically think about it, you know, we're going out at fake ass costs, fake titties costs, fake lips costs. You know what I mean? Fake every fucking thing costs. But when it comes to real food, that costs. Getting organic food is
Way more.
pricier than like fake food, which is like, that's fucked up, isn't it?
Well, because they're trying to kill you faster. Our population
Thank
grows
you.
so much.
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
the population doesn't grow as heavy as they want you to think because, like, when you break down the process of population growth, you look at a place like India, right? India is a magnificent beauty of a nation. You know what I'm saying? You look at a place like China. Again, what occurred there? China have a lot of people. It's a beautiful nation, but there's still a lot of space within China. But they say, hey, these people, because there's 12 million in one city, it's outdated.
Well, and it's like the smog
Right.
and like the toxins from how many people, how many cars.
But that's
like
what,
sitting
but that's
above
what I'm
the
saying.
air.
But
Yeah.
China proved that the smog itself can be modified and changed. When the Olympics was there, what did they do? They said A to Z, each day, A can only drive. These guys have to bus it, all that shit. We have the natural structure and power around us that we can utilize it. The sun is there, beaming all day, giving us that strength. You know what I mean? The wind is there, blowing. You know what I mean? But on top of that, you look at the U.S., for instance. Now, the northern state, how much people ever told you, hey, I'm from North Dakota?
I don't know nobody from North Dakota.
Exactly.
Me neither.
But does
It
North
exists.
Dakota have a
Yeah,
lot?
yeah,
Yes,
it does. So nobody lives
You know what I
out
mean?
there.
All South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming, all that shit.
That's crazy.
Wyoming,
itself.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yet still, we're overpopulated. Just think about that. Then you break it down to good old Canada, the second
crazy.
largest country on earth. But how many? How much people is in Canada?
I think like 9 million or something, and six of them.
Less than.
Less?
No,
There's 6 million in Toronto.
No. I'm talking about
I
all
think-
around all of Canada. We have 36 million. This is the propaganda
shit,
that
we're
they.
off.
6 million.
This is the propaganda that was given.
I don't even.
Okay.
This been given since fucking I was in high school.
Yeah.
Canada have 36 million people. That mean motherfuckers don't die or people don't drink. You know what I mean? Because they want to keep that same process. I'm like, 36 million in this big motherfucker?
Yeah.
Differently from the illegals, about 3 million illegals, for instance. So that's about 39. But I believe that we have much more people than that. Because you're telling me that from when I was in little school, which is like high school, like in the late 90s, we're still in that same structure? You
No,
fucking
impossible.
kidding me?
We've had a pretty level on the population, like in terms of mortality.
But
rate.
we've been fucking rapidly. That's like Alberta breeds a couple like fucking
But
rats.
if you look at the national average of the mortality versus the birth rate,
Yeah.
it's almost.
But that's what I mean because but you look at good old Montreal. Montreal's fucking awesome. Everybody's fucking in Canada. When it's cold, you got your even if you don't got a woman, you're finding a way to fuck. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a baby at some point. The amount of motherfuckers in Alberta that have kids, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like you mean like so you're telling me like it happened. Like I know the West in population have increased because remember Montreal was the second, but
Yeah.
Vancouver overtipped Montreal, and then Montreal is still the third. But Edmonton is fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
the
and when I
first.
say Edmonton, I mean
Albert.
St. Albert and fucking Sherwood Park, and it's all Edmonton.
Well, we had a 20% growth in population just during that oil.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like I mean, like, and so like the pop, like a lot of those folks ran tail back east, but they are the ones that
That
was
was
stuck
just
here. Exactly, right? So we're still continuing to grow in that sense. You know what I mean? And like, but again, we see these different things, and like you're like, you drive up north and tell me how much space you got, or better yet, drive south. You go basically about an hour out from Edmonton and look and walk around. You go to a
Yeah.
sweet place we like to call Young Pinoca and tell me how much space is around that area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you say, hey, we're populated, the earth is overflowing, man. That's bullshit.
No.
You know what I mean? But
It's just our borders are closed too, as well. You know, like
No,
not
we got-
everybody can just come from one place to the next.
exactly. We have there's strict rules in a sense. I get it because there's a lot of agriculture pieces to do with it. But again, as I was saying earlier before you guys got here, the natural resources. If you buy land and you find some gold or oil, which is the black gold, like on that land, you cannot claim it. A motherfucker like Mr. Burns is gonna come in and drill from the side and suck that shit out and give you nothing in return.
Or if you have even
Like, yeah,
what
like-
they can do here is if you have a property, they want to do something, they want to drill oil on
Yeah.
your property, they'll come, they'll give you a cash settlement. Here, we're taking it. This is ours now,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the name of the game.
and you have to sell to them.
Like I mean, that's the name, but that's the whole thing because I think it's 1960 or when was it? Like if you own the land before, Jay.
That's I'm just looking up here.
Like I think the act in Canada because like my friend's grandpa have like a ridiculous amount of mineral on his
I
land.
think it might have been
Like
in
here?
just in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, like I mean that the law, which was like I mean, and that law itself didn't come in full act. It wasn't even a Canadian process that did it. That was a British thing.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because the game was like that's the game that they play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Since this anything goes, I'm just gonna say I don't like the Queen of England.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think she should be just like sitting up in a freaking castle with
She's-
jewels and shit.
No.
I've
Like,
never understood the whole monarchy thing.
Yeah,
the
no.
monarchy, like you guys don't understand. I shit on you and slap your bitches around. You know
Yeah,
what I
pretty
mean?
much, pretty much. That's why I don't like you, Queen.
No, like,
So there you go.
but see, though, I can't knock. You know, I can't knock certain. Like, how can I put it? My bloodline comes from monarch. People don't understand that we like. I mean, like before the invasion from the Spaniards, my grandmother would have been the last of the descendant from it, which is funny. My great grandma. Like I mean, that's what it is. Like my mom's dad's family. Like, which is kind of funny. That's why I'm always very protective of my island. When people talk shit about my island, it goes to my heart because I know my bloodline, like on that side, right? But the Queen of England, yeah, she's not from England. They're German. Most people don't understand that. But I'm not one to bash. She played a hand that was given to her and make what they call the payola. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the times are changing and things have to change properly. You know what I mean? And again, as I say, I respect you say fuck that or fuck her or whatever that you said. You know what I mean? Like I don't bow to none of them. That ain't my principle. I don't care. They do whatever they do. You know what I mean? They steer to my way, I steer to their way.
I only like her face when it's on my money.
Like, see, that's what I mean. But like, let me ask you a question: how come the Queen of England is on the cash for Canada, and there haven't been one Aboriginal person on there?
Right? Makes no sense.
You know what I mean? There's been a black lady now, but you know what I'm saying? That's a different like. I'm like, how shouldn't it be? Like, isn't this the home of native land?
Yeah.
Isn't that a part of the old song? Although, like, again, our presidents is like our prime minister is trying to change all kind of shit in it. You know what I mean? I feel like he should tell us to start dropping jewels. You know?
Yeah, can we have some of your diamonds?
Yeah. No,
Can
like
we have some of your pure gold like walls?
but the thing about Great Britain and its finance, I shouldn't even say Great Britain. The royal monarch is 99% of the things that they have been stolen. Now the other percentage is they've invested in things. She owns a part of South Common. People don't know that. So she's getting paid while she's getting gangster laid. You know what I'm saying? You know, so people don't understand that it's a business. You know, and so one have to understand the beauty of it. You know, to see what it is, because
The Vatican too, right?
yeah,
I mean, look
the
at
Vatican owns the most land
Oh.
in the world.
Don't get me started on that,
I
please.
do that with Gatorade.
No,
but-
I hate the
but-
Pope too.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's a system that was put in play, and you can't you can't hate the system that's put in play. You have to create a system that's much stronger than it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He who comes against it, they try to murder later on. But because of already died and come back, it's hard for that to to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I walk with the Almighty at all times.
I guess you just have to find your own scam.
Well, it's not just that. Like the Queen of England have a ruby. The ruby came from India. India have said, "Hey, it's on the crown." India said this ruby was stolen from us. They said no, it was given. Just the same as the Rock of Gibraltar was given to them in Spain, right? Well, the Rock of Gibraltar, people don't understand the name of why it was called the Rock of Gibraltar. People don't know that name came from the Moors. When the Moors came in, that's where they came through. The Moors were the black man and woman. They came in like the Jews, the black Jews of Europe continuously. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that. The name was named after one of the sultan, the black sultan. You know what I'm saying? So people are silly in the sense, because if you don't know history, you fail on it. You know what I mean? The first step is that. But this queen that reigns, you know what I mean, and she's on her way out because she wants to.
She's 92 this year.
Yeah, she's on her way out. She lived a good, she lived a good, prosperous process from what she did.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Rothschild and all that stuff. But again, the banking system have overpowered the monarch system. That was the battle that took place not just once, but it took place twice. Remember a little guy they called Leopold?
Leopold the Third.
Napoleon.
Oh, Napoleon.
The little like evil.
Napoleon wasn't evil. He,
No?
he was just a raging maniac. You know what I mean?
Oh, he wasn't evil. He was just psychotic.
No. Yeah, in the 1800s. But like, let me give you a little. Let me give you a little thing of history.
Yeah.
History painted my folks to be barbaric, evil in many different terms, stupid, can't analyze, and they paint Napoleon to be the greatest warrior of all time within that period of time and continuously. But now, if people that were so-called barbaric defeat the greatest general of all time, like to cause the destruction of his revolution and to cause the United States to buy the France section of what is called like a Louisiana and all that pieces now. Do you call them would you call them the more brilliant fighters? Think about how genius that is. That span. This is what I'm coming from. This span from 80 and Jamaica, Central America pieces. 80 defeated Napoleon, greatest general, and Napoleon at his own game.
Yeah.
1804. And these are the people that they say, hey, after the beating, the killing, the raping, the breeding, all this shit continuously, still overcome it. And when, after the overcoming of it, with a few Irishmen and a few Italian riding with them, you know what I'm saying? They defeated, these motherfuckers and sent them licking. Most of the Frenchmen didn't go back to France, they ran to America. Where, the tighter process of, you know what I mean, came again. This is in the 1800s. 1804, it ended. Right, the revolution.
Yeah.
The
French
the
Revolution.
Constitution itself. No, 80. The revolution 80.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Napoleon getting his ass kicked.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is like, if you're supposed to be the great, if Michael Jordan, let me put it down to the street shit. If Michael Jordan's supposed to be the greatest basketball player of all time, and he goes up against my man Muggsy Bolt, you know what I'm saying? Muggsy's fucking him up. Playing Michael 1-on-1, fucking Michael up.
Yeah.
Beat Michael 21 to fucking, 3.
Then shouldn't he be the new baddest?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? That's exactly what happened. And these motherfuckers couldn't conceive that. They were fucking raging. We can't have these Negroes now, like me, liberating themselves and doing greater things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fucking chaos. And this is why, again, the Western Hemisphere is set in such things. The turmoil, when you look at the nations that liberate themselves early.
Well, and like the Rwandan
yeah.
genocide caused by Belgium, caused by fucking...
Exactly.
Like, man, I learned about that shit in social, and it was the shit that they never taught you till after you're out of fucking high school.
Yeah.
I went back to
That
Center
matters.
High, and they taught me that shit there. Never once did I learn that in my regular school curriculum. They never try to teach you the truth.
Well, why would it be? Because it's stated. There's only a certain amount of thing that teachers can speak on.
Yeah.
Right? It's a system that's within the system. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, you have to take a moment to really understand the game. I keep telling people that a lot of time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You understand the game, you can play the game just as equal as these folks. But not just that alone, you can achieve greater things. You know what I'm saying? But you will also choose justice and truth over anything else. You know what I mean? That's the reality that we have to live on. If we don't speak the truth and be just in how we go about our words, then what makes us different from anybody else?
It doesn't. Like, a lot of these people who make their way up to somewhere, to the top, like, even though you're up at the top, you're still a shitty person because you fucking went against all your morals and did a bunch of bad shit to get there. Like, yeah, you got everything that you need, and yeah, you might be up there and have what you need. But, like, I don't know. I just wish that there was a way to go about it without having to, like, do things that fuck with your conscience and stuff,
Depends, though. Like, I mean, and this is the funny part about it. Remember when Kanye used that line, the prettiest people do the ugliest thing? A lot of people don't get that. The prettiest people do the ugliest thing. Meaning, when you see a lot of these people in Hollywood, when you see a lot of these people doing all this shit, even Kanye became a pretty person.
Yeah.
Because he's doing something ugly.
Yeah, saying
See,
that slavery was a
like,
choice.
he predicted his process in it. Because I think what that says, with him saying that, and the reason why I kept it out of it this week is because now you factor, like, half the time you're not thinking, how come you couldn't just get up and rise, right? You look at the fellas and, like, I mean, there's a space within, it's the Pacific side of Mexico. Because a lot of people don't understand, there's more black people, differently from the black people that was already here in the Western Hemisphere, but on ships that also got dropped off in Mexico. A lot of people don't get that. You know what I mean? It blows their mind. There's a spot it's in northwest Mexico, the Pacific side, where there's a brother with braids freed his people. You know what I mean? Before 80 was free.
And there's always going to be people who
it's very important for people to understand that. You know what I mean? The process of Afro-Latino has been around doing things for a long time, but at the end of the day, black is black in that scale. Right? The reason why is because, like, again, they never speak the truth, because if they speak the truth, they have to rewrite history. If they rewrite history, they have to retool the mind of people.
They got to rewrite the books, too.
Exactly. They've been trying to fucking
no.
reschedule these things, right? But again, it comes down to the devilish things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's so much different pieces to it, from the fashion pieces to all that. And again, I said there's a lot of jewels that Kanye did stated prior. You know what I mean? If you listen to my dark twisted fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, the beginning of that album is very important. Like, the beginning with Nicki Minaj speaking is very, very important, because the things, like what she said, the things that you see, you can't even factor the real things. How bloody it is, because history is made in blood. You know, to a lot of people, history is made in blood and lie. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go back and you say, well, you know, why did they shut off the Sphinx nose in Egypt? You know
Oh, because no, they didn't like. I know this one. I learned about this. They got it. They took the nose off because it was too round. It looked too much like a black person's nose, and it was too wide. So they wanted it to resemble white people more, and they were taking over and colonizing over there. So they're just like, yeah, let's smash this off because f you guys and f the way you look apparently.
It's
Motherfuckers.
but yeah, see, I like your wild term.
I just get mad. Like,
but it's because again, they can be like the reality of things. You know what I mean? You know, and there's nothing wrong with, you know what I mean, like the reality of things. It's just how people go about it. You know what I mean? Because again, the like colonizing, it still have a major effects, but people say it doesn't. You know what I mean? I got a friend that'd be like, these guys are just lazy. Like, I mean, and he's a friend because you have to be able to debate. The most important pieces of things to have a good debate. You mean because if you don't know what these guys are thinking, and you're like, fuck you, you fucking moron. Like, I mean, like, they will never turn, like, you will never get to understand the mentality of what it is. You mean you'll never get to understand, like, I mean, like, and it's not saying like bring them from the dark side, but it's to respect like each other's touch, because I believe that's what's the problem is. It's been lacking for a good minute to like the respect value.
nobody respects each other's
You know what I mean?
views.
I seen a thing today, and like these guys are talking about how like the Iran deal is going to shit because Kerry, you know, he's a civilian now and he's talking with this guy and it can react these things. And I'm like, if the deal is going to prevent somebody from blowing up, like, I shouldn't say blowing up, but fighting and people over there from starving, isn't that the process? Because it's already been tried. It's like saying, like with Cuba, like, well, let's just keep on trying to sanction them. We see that Cuba lived for 62 years and continue to roll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the idea is like, wake up and understand the process of it. You know what I mean? Seek another way. You know, seek a proper way. Seek justice, truth, in all things, because this is what we've been banking on. You know what I'm saying? So them going on about like this deal, where it's like, okay, we're gonna take everything back from this deal. What's gonna happen? You know what I mean? First and foremost, the OPEC side, because like I seen a thing where they're like, well, Iran's been funding terrorists, da da da, but then it's like, Iran, I guess, is not allied with America, but Saudi Arabia is. Now, isn't Saudi Arabia doing the same thing but 10 times more? But nobody's calling them on it. Just looking at the factor of things. You know what I mean? So,
well, it's sanctions against Iran that's going to get our oil and gas sector boiling again, right? I mean, it's completely
because like it's one of the if you can knock one of the OPEC guys, it's what it is.
Yeah.
But the difference is, you know what I mean? Like, again, they have to also shorten the Saudi Arabia supply in a sense. You know what I mean? Or Kuwait, or like, and when I say shorten it, not like stop people from eating and living, but look at certain play. You know what I mean?
Well, and they have to agree to do that.
Exactly. But Iran itself, Iran's not stupid. Iran's going into solar power. They've been into solar power. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, they can't go nuclear.
No, it's not that they can't. They don't like him. Most of the time, they don't want it. Yeah, but people will push as much as they want to push on these guys. Like, I mean, like, the fact is, once you understand what it is, there's over 365,000 Jews that live in Iran. Now, if these guys wanted to really go out and murder all these Jews, why wouldn't you just do it at home? You know what I mean? Think about that. You know, you have Jews in your parliament, Jews, all, like, I mean, their shops, all this thing. Like, it's crazy. But what people don't understand is what it is. Because, again, the propaganda is used. You know what I mean? And the
Well,
reality,
and the media lies too.
exactly.
Yeah.
The reality is, like, if you came out and you're like, yo, those guys are bitch ass motherfuckers. I want to fucking stop them from making some money. Go fuck them. You know, fuck themselves.
Or like-
Canada, they're fucking up our flow of cash. You know what? That would be easier. More like people would be like, all right, I get it. At least you're straight with that shit. That's why, like, you know, like I've seen a thing with one of the old presidents in the States. They ran for office, and this was like in the 20s. Right? And the guy's like, I lost. And they're like, well, are you going to go and say such and such? And he's like, no, fuck that guy. It's like, I lost. Like, I'm not going to go over there and like, say hello, you know, like, and give some bullshit story like I'm his friend.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, fuck him. You know what I mean? I respect that he won, but I'm not going to do it. And to me, that was one of the hardest thing, as in, like, the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Don't give me no fucking fake speech. Well, you know, congratulations to that guy over there. It's like, you're unified anyway. No. Like, fuck you. You won. Cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't care. I'm not going to fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if I'm not beside you at the same time to shake your hand, it can be like, it's like, I'm not going to call a guy that, like, if we're playing a soccer tournament, like, hey, bro, your team beat those guys? Yeah, oh, yeah. Like, when I see you, I'll say, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, but that's the reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These guys, and that's what I'm saying, where the fake shit, you know what I mean? Because you're smiling like somebody's fake, and while you're fake as fuck, you know what I mean? Like, I can't do that shit. You know what I mean? I can't breathe it. I like it. Like, if I'm gonna lie about something, I start getting fucking shakes. I can't do it. You know what I mean? I'll be a nice guy, but being fake and phony, fuck you. That doesn't right with us. You know what I mean? So what I'm getting at is about politics, as what my cousin in England always say. It's politricks. You know what I mean? Because on the English side of things, they want to stay now in the fucking EU. They want all the sweet cake, but they don't want the immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because immigrants just didn't get up and say, hey, we're going to walk into your country. What's taking place in our country and why? This is where I always say the outside policy of a nation works. I always go back to Reaganomics. You know what I mean? We destroy outside so we can live better. You know what I mean? That's what it is. You know what I mean? Syria didn't get up and say, hey, you know, we're just going to bomb our beautiful buildings and we're going to run across the nations. You know what I mean? Leave our fancy cars that we bought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody ever does. You know what I mean? War, you don't want to see babies die. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see, but it's...
Well, maybe some people. There are some people who do want that.
Want to see baby die?
Want to say, yeah, there are people like that, yeah.
Like who? Who the fuck have you been hanging out with?
Oh, no, nobody I know personally, but, like, nah, like, even just, like, fucking... Like, this one guy, Ed Gase, whatever the fuck. I'm watching a documentary on fucking TV about this guy right now, and he fucking killed his own son. Like, straight up just murdered. Like, and there's people and serial killer.
I know a fella here that killed a young man.
Yeah.
Like, his dad killed his own son outside a city here.
And a girl who killed her own 2-year-old. Oh, man, this woman in Alberta killed her own 2-year-old son and then helped her boyfriend. No, her boyfriend killed him, but then helped her boyfriend bury the body. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Like, yeah, there's evil fucks out there, but it's rare.
There's like, and this is the purpose on both sides. This is what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if you can't, ladies and gents, if you can't handle the youths, the niños, the little munchkins, you know what I mean? That's why you can use your mouth to swallow it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Leche can be swallowed, my people. I'm just letting the ladies know. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, if you can't pay for it, pull out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna beat around the bush because it's like, but what they don't understand is like they doing that. Those fucking evil, twisted people. It doesn't give them credit in the world of good or credit in the world of evil. They give them credit in the world of outrageously retarded. You know what I mean? And they will get neutered for that.
When lots of people just do it for the fame, but what they don't realize is like your fame is literally the 15 minutes of fame. That's literally all it is. After you do that, then you spend the rest of your life rotting behind fucking prison bars. Or, you know, people find out what the fuck you did when you're in prison and they just kill you.
Exactly.
So you get exactly what the fuck you put out to people, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
karma's
like
a
it's-
bitch, and she'll work and do whatever the fuck needs to be done at the end of the day.
Beautiful karma, some people say.
Yeah.
I call her Ludacris's daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the reality with things. You know what I mean? Like, and again, anything goes. You know, we're winding down here. Yeah, we're about a minute or two in the wind-down process. So I just want to let people know, like, again, next week we're gonna start bringing in more and more, you know, me and people to conversate with and you know, just educate and all that stuff. Make sure you guys you know, keep following. We're gonna add a few things like the Facebook page for like anything goes and more. And you know, I mean, we love having like, I mean, just a proper conversation, because he who failed to conversate failed to basically understand things. You know what I'm saying? And again, the reality of life is, you know, if you kill kids, just remember, I know Freddy Krueger. He'll kill you in your sleep. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, it's some real shit. You know what I mean? Me and Freddy, we're cool like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it's a sad piece though when I look around and I see like so much evil. But then when I look at the little niños, you know, the little ones that's growing and the ones that's growing and they smile, bring us like, I mean, that glimpse of hope and knowing that we can change the world. You know what I'm saying? One step at a time. And, you know, like it's the belief of things, because people believe that evil have to exist with good. But I believe wrong. I believe all things good can evolve. You know what I mean? You just got to push that evildoer out.
And when you turn on the TV on the news, you only see the evil shit. They don't want to show you the good shit as much as they want to show you the evil.
No, it's entertainment. It's Ron Burgundy, I call that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you know, it's the anchor man all over again. But, you know what I mean, don't get me wrong. My main man, Walter Kunk, right? Rest his soul. You know what I mean? In 60 Minutes and via Vice News, you know what I mean? And last week, this week, you know, like, still do some fantastic, speaking of Bill Maher, like all that.
Yeah.
I take the time to, like, appreciate good journalism, good people, and good food. You gotta love good food, you know what I mean? And all the fine, foxy ladies. Hey, babies, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like, I just want to take a moment with my deep, Barry White voice. Hey, girl, you know what I'm talking about. You know, all that good cooking and that good loving. Make sure you all rub your man back in his feet. You know what I mean? Fellas, make sure you take good care of your ladies. You know what I'm saying? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Take good care of her. You know what I'm saying? All right. And back to what I'm saying. Thank you to Jason, you know, Floyd. Say your goddamn name. I got a voice.
I'm Sunny. Sunny Ray.
Sonny Ray.
And young Miss, and I call her Sunshine Ray because she's shining bright. You know.
Thank you.
There you go. And thank you to all you guys that's been listening and stuff for that, man. We're just gonna keep on getting stronger and stronger and better at what we do. And again, you know what I mean, to all the good people that's out there, keep doing good. And you know what I mean? Again, read what you eat before you put it in your stomach. Because if you don't know what you're eating, it's very dangerous.
Don't put tomatoes in your cooking.
Put it to the side.
Yeah.
Put it to the side.
Damn raw.
It is, you know, it's a fruit. Most people don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so I just want you all players to know out there. I want all the players and the playettes to be healthy and well. Next week, same time, same bad channel. You know what I'm saying? We're here to dominate, and we're here to be great.
We out here.
You know what I mean? Peace and love and Afro Grease, baby. And if the Queen listened to this, people hate you and love you at the same time. Peace.
Fuck you.
Blessings.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. It is I, the man that speak the truth. Anything goes. That's the truth. Listen. Monday at 4, we start this. Speak the truth. Never stop. Hear the facts and hear the steps. Anything goes. That's right. Go or fall. Here y'all. Up or down. Run around. We still speak. I'm a fact. What's that? I say mama told us how to speak the facts from a young child. Never gonna lie as a big man. Never gonna lie as a grown man. And never gonna run as a real man. Facts is, and facts must, and lie must go all day. Real shit, so ride with us. This is anything goes. Yeah, anything goes. Health, wealth, music, facts, life, shows.
Yeah,
Anything goes.
yeah.
It is I.